Wonder, 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 wonder.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Señora Vibes podcast. I'm Alicia, your host. And for season 14, I'm doing something a little bit different. We're calling it the Señora CEO Sessions. It's a new podcast series where I'm talking to small business owners, entrepreneurs, and we're going to help them grow. We're going to get them more customers and just basically up-level their brand. We're going inside and take a deep dive into what they're doing. What are the CEO's biggest challenges? I'm exploring their growth strategies and then also giving some actionable advice to boost their businesses. So that is something new. It is the mid-season. It is season 14. I still have a little bit of a cold, not a cold, but I think I still have the remnants of a cold. Right. Starting this episode today with my favorite guest, my hubby, Rusk. Hey, babe.
Hey, thanks for inviting me again. It's been a while.
I know. Why are you not coming anymore? What's going on?
Well, it's been busy, with developments, but I finally found some time to help you out today.
Yeah.
And to chime in on whatever
Well,
it is
thank you for
want
making
me
a
to
little
chime
bit of
in
time
on.
for me.
Yeah. We're here in this really cool space with these really cool sound tiles and some very nice lighting and setup, and it's all very bougie and sophisticated looking.
Yeah, the panorama guys are really good. They're like really on top of everything.
They are.
The visuals, the aesthetics, the sound. And then I do tell them to make me look better every time, but I don't think they can ever do.
You look good for defined the way you are.
Thank you, honey.
You don't need any photoshopping or any of that.
I love how you're wearing your sunglasses. I was telling everybody earlier, I was telling the guys, that's your accessory.
That is my accessory. They don't leave my head. I just...
They really don't.
They don't. They're like glued to my head.
I think the only time you take them off is when you shower.
Well, thank you for noticing that.
Yeah.
Well, that would probably be a good idea. You can cut that out, right?
No, we're not cutting anything out. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we've been doing. So we're talking a little bit about CEOs. We're talking about entrepreneurship. You have been a business owner since the age of 21.
Yes.
You and I got together when you were 21. I was 23, and you had just inherited a business from your dad.
Yes. Yeah, so it's I had just finished, just graduated from University of St. Thomas.
That's where we met.
That's where you and I met, and walked out on a Saturday after graduation, and my father hands me the keys to the business on a Monday, and he says, "Call me if you need something." And I had just turned 22 by 3 weeks. So you got to grow up really quick, and you're now dealing with the public. You're dealing in the retail world. You're dealing with people that have a lot more experience in life, and they're 40s, 50s, 60s, and so forth. So, and it's a serious world out there. So you had to be on your pins and on your however the sayings go, on your tippy toes or whatever. And,
on your toes.
On your toes, and that's kind of where this whole kind of venture into business and entrepreneurship began.
Yeah, and I remember we had a really good conversation, which I was telling Alex about, our kid who just turned 22.
Right.
And I was telling him how he's working a lot and he's traveling so much for work. And I'm like, you make sure that you have that conversation with your girlfriend that, right now is your growth period. It's about like hustling. It's about putting in the time, making the money right now. Because that was a conversation you and I had very, very much at the very beginning. Because you're like, I know that you're a social butterfly. You were like, you're always out and about. You like to go out. You like to do things. But I'm not going to be able to do any of those things with you because I'm going to be working a lot. And you said to me, literally right from the very beginning, you have a choice. You can like stick around, or, this is like a good time for us to like really go our separate ways. And I love that about you. Like our communication was super spot on from the very beginning, and you were super honest about what it was going to be, and what my life was going to be as your girlfriend at the time, because I knew that I wasn't going to have my boyfriend come with me to events, to performances, to parties,
and I knew,
stuff like that.
And I knew because I had grown up around that business as a kid in my teenage years in high school, and I spent my summers there. I knew. The expectations, I knew there were long hours. A business like that opens at 7 a.m., but you really have to wake up at 5. You got to be on the road by 6. And you close at 6, so you don't really get home till 7. So it's a true 12-hour day. and you're on your feet all the time, and you're answering phone calls, 30, 40 calls a day. I mean,
Yeah.
30, 40 customers a day, and then hundreds of phone calls, and you're mentally exhausted by the time you get home. So there's not much left in the tank to do much else. And
Yeah.
it's kind of, to add to what you were saying, what you were telling your son about his
Yeah.
relationship with his girlfriend. The 20s are kind of where you set the foundation for your life
Absolutely.
going forward. And if you get that established sooner rather than later, earlier in your 20s and later in your 20s, then your 30s and 40s can be,
Exactly.
you can
You can take a little break.
take a break.
Yeah, and I think what I was trying to tell Alex at the time too was like, Alex, listen, your girlfriend deserves to know that you're going to be very busy and you're not going to have enough time for her if she wants to have a lot of time with you, because for me right now, your goal is just to really grow your business. Whatever you're doing right now it's growth. It is your growth era. It is your building era. It is setting foundations. I was telling him about all of that because he was asking me about like, Mom, one day I want to move out. I want to have my own house. And so then we started like putting like things together. Like, okay, so then you have to think about your mortgage. You have to think about your car payment, insurance, food, furnishings. Like we started going, and he was like, wow, like I'm seeing now
Right.
how much it takes. So I said, that's a good conversation to have if you're ever in a really serious relationship. Like, and it's a transitional period for our kids, right? Like we're at that age now
Sure.
where like I'll be 50 this year. We're talking about señoras. We're talking about CEOs. We're raising entrepreneurs too.
Right. Yeah, and he's kind of seems to have already half a foot out the door.
Yeah.
And he's at that age where he wants to be independent. He wants to try his hand out there at the real world. And I'm glad, I've had these conversations with him over lunch, but I think it was good that he heard it from you about just daily operating expenses and living, not just in a business, but being able to stand on your own 2 feet. And his bank account grows from all these videos, but he doesn't have a lot of outflow expenses going
Yeah.
out, and so he doesn't realize what it takes to live until you kind of really do it. And I don't think you really grasp it, obviously, until you're actually out there in
Yeah. On
in the
your
world on your own, trying to figure things out, right? But it's good to paint the picture for him, so
Yeah.
he doesn't walk out into the. That's what you're supposed to do as a parent, right? You should provide and
Yeah.
protect and to guide them. You don't necessarily have to micromanage their lives, but you have to kind of give them a sense of, not set them up to where, they're not failing at every single bump along the road. Failure is
Yeah.
expected. Obstacles are going to be there, but at the end of the day, your job is to kind of guide them to make sure they're kind of set up to
Yeah,
succeed in this
yeah,
world.
and letting them make their mistakes on their own or letting them learn things on their own. Because I think one thing that we do try to control is like his spending when it comes to like clothes and like gifts and stuff like that, or like how much time he goes out. But yesterday you left the credit card statement out for him to
Right.
go over it,
Yes.
and he was going
Yeah,
over it with me.
right.
He's like, damn, I really do eat out a lot, and
Right.
I really do spend a lot of money on this and this.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, like look and pay attention to that because
Right.
that's money that's going out of your bank account every
Yeah.
time.
I mean, why spend, $10 on a sandwich somewhere where you can make a similar sandwich? Might necessarily be not as good for $2, a couple slices of
Yeah,
bread and,
yeah.
some ingredients or whatever. It's a whole lot less.
So let's talk a little bit about what we've been doing lately. Because,
Okay.
yeah, parenting is something that I talk about on the podcast because a lot of the women that listen
Yeah.
in, they're raising teenagers or older kids. They're at that stage where we are right now. We're like late 40s, 50s. Our kids are going to college or, just transitions. We just finished a really, really beautiful house, our second house in the Fifth Ward.
Right.
It's on Bayou Street, 1413. If you guys want to go check it out, it is a really gorgeous, sophisticated, very elevated house. I feel like in terms of like the design. We just finished it.
Yeah, this is our second house in the Fifth Ward. We just wrapped up. It's literally next to the one that we had finished last summer. That house rented out literally within a week.
Within
And
literally days.
Fantastic tenants we've had
Beautiful,
in there.
yeah.
Great communication. They're doing a really good job of maintaining the house, treating it as if it was their own.
Mm-hmm.
So we got really lucky there with those tenants. And then so we decided to buy the lot next door.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2,500 square foot lot. It's all in livable space is $1,895. And the entire house is $2,520 with garage and non-livable. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, a lot of space in the living
Yeah.
room. Comes with surround sound. It's all hooked up for your TVs, internet. Has an alarm ready to go.
The ring
cameras
doorbell,
has security systems, cameras, all that kind of
we
stuff.
have an EV plug.
Right.
In
We
the
have an EV plug for the
garage.
vehicles. And then right next door, there's 3 homes that they just completed, 3 stories. So that whole little area right there, right off of 59 in Lyons,
Yeah.
just north of downtown, is really kind of coming into its fore.
I know, and I love how thoughtful it is. Like we really did think about the design. We thought about how do we elevate a house, give it color, give it pop. That kitchen is just so beautiful. It's got such a beautiful blue.
Right.
We really were
Yeah,
intentional
what color
about.
was that blue?
Oh, that's a good question.
Was it like a teal?
It's not a teal.
Yeah.
We used a teal on the other Bayou house.
It's
This
like a
is
light
more of
navy
a blue. It's more of a royal blue.
royal blue.
But
Right.
it's got a special color name to it. I'll remember that in a minute.
You made a glam room out of that one
We
little.
made a glam room
Right.
because I always feel like, okay, we got to think about the girls.
Yep.
However, men can have a glam room too. I mean, let's,
Yeah, sure. I mean, no, it doesn't have to be
We're
about the
very
girls. It's
inclusive
just
to
right.
anybody.
Yeah, there was some extra closet space, and
Yeah.
we decided to turn it into something more of just a regular closet, more of a sophisticated closet with the
Exactly.
options of putting some mirrors or some LED mirrors in there. We had the plugs hooked
A
up.
vanity,
Right. Vanity,
adding
all
a
that,
vanity
right.
in there.
Yep.
The other thing I want to talk about the kitchen is we added a really special touch and we've been to other homes because we've bought other houses from other builders. They never incorporate a wine cooler.
Yeah, they don't.
And
which
we've
is-
done that every
right.
single time.
Yeah, I mean it's a very minor expense in
know.
relation to what the total cost
And it
of
makes
the
a huge
construction is.
difference. Everybody
Right.
loves it.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily put wine in there. You could put it's an extra storage space for just any kind of beverages. You don't have to tie up your refrigerator space for that. You can put soft drinks in there, beers, whatever.
Spritz, people
yeah.
love their spritz.
Right.
You can add the spritz in there.
yeah.
You can put in like a vodka bottle if you want it to be chilled. And it's
Right.
just such a great addition that I think we've really been super good about it. And Rusk and I have been in real estate for 5 years now. We just turned 5, or we're going to be 5 in April. That's the first time we bought our first house.
Yep.
On Piping Rock, and
Yes.
it was a first flip, and we bought it because we were super
Bored.
It was
Yeah.
COVID. They had
Well, it
closed
was-
everything down.
Right. Yep.
And that's when I started the podcast. So the
Yeah.
podcast is going to be 5 years old at the end of the month as well. So
Yeah, after that first flip, we did a few more, and then we decided. Then I did some commercial projects with some partners out there in North Houston, in Porter, Conroe, built a couple retail
Katie.
centers, Katie as well, and then they all sold. We built them from scratch. I leased them out. They were in charge of the construction side. I was in charge of the leasing and the financing side, and we got them built. They sold. It all turned out to be great investments, and then interest rates went up they're still up, but they're not as high as they were in 2023.
yeah,
And then we decided to pivot and do something on our own. That's how we got into a single-family residential construction.
exactly.
Yeah, and then so we did those 2 in the Fifth Ward, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Now we've pivoted to East River 9, a little geo market, as realtors like to say, or sub-market, as economists like to say, just east of Edo, and got 2 homes going on over there. And one of them, I think you have an idea that you want to do an Airbnb out of.
So one of the houses, I think it's so perfect in terms of location for an Airbnb, just because it's so close to all the stadiums, literally minutes away from the stadiums.
Right.
We are blocks away from the Ninfas, the El Tiempo, from all of the navigation bars, Jonathan's, the Rub, just open there. Like, it's such a great location for like small groups, for bachelorette party. I mean, you could just have so much fun if you rent that space right there and like use it for an Airbnb. So look out for that one. That is on Milby Street.
Yep.
What is the address for that?
603 North Milby.
603 North
Right.
Milby.
Yeah, it's a great area. It's right off of navigation. It's all walking distance to all the little new developments that's going on over there, mostly on the food and dining scene and all that. It's also
I love that.
Similar size house. It's about 2,500 square feet all in.
Yeah, it should be able to sleep at least 8 people by the time we're done.
Right.
I'll be furnishing over the next few months, so I'll be thinking about like furnishings. But I think the concept right now is Texas rustic, modern Texas, southwestern style.
Yep.
We gravitate towards that just because we really just love that homey warmth,
Yep.
you know. So Rusk and I have done a few flips with that sort of inspiration, and we really love it. Those flips have sold super fast, by the way.
With the one with the Southwest style, the one out there in Sharpstown,
in
the
Lugery
Fondren,
Street,
Lugery
right?
Street, that was literally we were under contract and within 24 hours on that one.
Exactly.
Right. That wasn't the case in the other flips, but that one went well.
Exactly. So I think that's where we're heading with that one. And then talk about the other three we have
Yeah, so
going.
not too far from Millby, East River now, and if you head further down south to 288 to 610 interchange, particularly off of Cullen Street, 610 and Cullen, not that far from NRG. It's mostly known as South Medical, also known as Sunnyside, but now it's kind of been rebranded to South Medical.
Okay.
I guess Sunnyside had a kind of a negative reputation, even though it's really up and coming out there. We're doing a 3-home development. They're mirror images on the floor plans. About the same size, square footage. Once again, 2,500. They're all single family residentials. We've got some really cool colors going on the outside. We're doing some dark greens for the first half of the house.
Beautiful
the back of the house,
colors.
we're doing like little sexy
Love
white
those
colors,
colors.
right? And they're halfway through construction. They should be wrapped up in the early to midsummer. They got sizable backyards considering the side of town they're on. Most of those developments, those lots out there, there's not very
Not a lot of
large,
space.
and so we found one that has a little bit of everything: a good driveway and a good garage space, and a good probably a 10 by 25-foot backyard, so about 250, 300
Yeah.
square feet, and it's going to be pretty good once we get done with those. So currently
Those are
under
great.
construction, there's 5 going on.
So those 3 summer, the Airbnb should be ready by around May.
Yeah, late spring, early
Late
summer,
spring,
right?
So those I'm holding on because I just feel like there's going to be a lot of events coming to Houston in 2026, and I think that's just going to be a great spot. That house is just going to have all the accommodations you
Right.
could possibly want for an Airbnb.
Yeah.
We're
You
going to
got
make
the
it
World-
really warm.
The events are the World
Comfy.
Baseball Classic, and then
Yeah.
also the World Cup.
The
right?
World Cup.
It's coming into Houston. There's
Yep.
going to be some of the games are going to be played here in the Houston area, so it'll work out great.
I know. I'm really excited about those. And then the ones in the South Side, I think a lot of people who gravitate to like the medical center, those are great for that because they're just so close to the medical center.
Yep.
Or close to NRG Stadium, like that's super close.
Yep.
People who love to participate in the rodeo and that sort of thing, which, let's not get started on the rodeo because it's not something we're like very fond of.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Well, the rodeos is
Yeah.
great. Obviously, it's an institution in the city.
But not good for small business.
It's not good for small
It's
businesses,
not.
right?
And we've noticed that.
Unless you're directly associated with the rodeo, but business
Last 20 years, we've noticed that.
every year around the rodeo, retail, dining,
everything.
anything just comes to a crawl over the rodeo. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of this $300 million economic contributions that the rodeo promotes, but I think the net is obviously a lot less once you discount where it's just simply a transfer of economics from one event to the city at large. So
Yeah.
that's how
So
I see
that's
it.
what we've been doing. Rusk and I are going to travel. We'll be heading out to the Caribbean in the next few weeks. This podcast is just in mid season 14, which means we're reaching the
Wow, it's 14 seasons now.
200 episodes
Right.
very soon.
How many seasons do you have in a year? 2?
No, I have in the season 3 seasons in a
3
year because it's
years.
12 episodes
Right.
per season.
So it's almost 5 years you've been doing this.
Yeah, so it'll be 5 years at the end of March.
Yeah.
Should be
Of
5 years.
2026.
No,
Of this year.
this year.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it'll be 5. Yeah, I started in March
Yeah.
2020.
How many episodes do you have per season?
12,
12, right.
episodes per
Yeah.
season.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So and honestly, it's not easy because it takes a lot of prep. It takes a lot of thinking about guests, bringing them on, doing promoting it.
Yep.
I'm still looking for sponsors. I would love to have a sponsor. Would love to have 2 or 3 sponsors.
Right.
People we can promote and advertise their business on here. Making it self-sustainable would be
Right.
fantastic. And I know you have been honing in on that one for
Yeah.
a while. And I get it. You're a money man. You want to see money coming in all the time. I get it.
my
And money
reason.
has been going out. And it's only been going out for,
Yeah.
for 5 years.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, if y'all know anybody who's interested in promoting themselves on the podcast, let me know. I'm super interested in just thrilled about that. So that's some really great benchmarks. I'm really proud of that because most people really just do like 25, maybe 30 episodes,
Yeah.
and then they give up because it's a lot of work.
It
It's
is,
not. It's
yeah.
not easy. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Well, it's a lot. It takes a lot to get the guests to come, to commit to the
That's
time.
another
right?
one.
Life
We had
life gets in
guests
the way,
canceled today.
you know, and so that happens from time to time. Life gets in the way for people, and then you have to prepare again and set back up, and it's not it's not just showing up and pressing a button to record. There's a lot of prep time that goes behind the scenes, as you can imagine.
It's a lot of prep time. It's a lot of thinking things through. But I think also, like, I want to bring value to my listeners.
Right.
I want to make sure that they are getting something out of it. It's not just gossip and chatter. I really want it to be, geared towards women who are 40 plus, probably going through career transitions, which is something I'm feeling a lot right now, just because real estate has been very stagnant. Even
Right.
though we've been working at it, I'm not making any money right now. We're not buying, we're not selling. So that's been stagnant. So I asked a good friend of mine who works in the corporate world, I said, I need you to review my resume. And we need to incorporate my last 5 years because my resumes are not up to date. Like I
Right.
haven't added the skill sets that I've added these last 5 years working with, with us together, with our things that we do together. So, and then the economy is just very tricky right now. There's a lot of people that are feeling very scared and
Right.
uncertain,
Right.
as we are as
Right.
well.
Right.
You and I are we were just talking about it this
Confidence is
morning.
low. It's obviously a lot of rigmarole going on in DC, and that's obviously
We're not comfortable where
Right.
things are going. We're not happy about who's president right now. We are definitely scared for the future of family and friends. We work in construction, so the people that work with us are also people that are super good, super hardworking, the highest work ethics and all of that, but obviously afraid for
Right,
their
sure, yeah.
families.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to have consistency and stability in the economy, and you have to have and that breeds confidence, and confidence obviously is where people get to where the energy comes from to make decisions. And if there's a lack of confidence because every day there's a flood of news coming out, then you can't necessarily find out what's true, what's not true, and that breeds uncertainty. So.
Right,
It definitely
right,
affects people's decision making. For example, the second Bayou house that we have
right.
is definitely doesn't have the attention the first one did, even though we kind of put it on the market about the same time. The first one was a little bit later, but that was last year, and so this year is a different year, and it's a different climate out there.
But talking to people and just anecdotally, it's everyone is holding on to their money. They're really not too excited about buying property.
Yeah, interest rates are higher,
Yeah.
right?
They're uncomfortable with how their money's going to be used and spent. Social Security is also another factor for people. Medical expenses. They just cut the Department of Education, so people are wondering like what's going to happen to
Pell
schools.
Grants.
Pell Grants. A lot of students go to college. I mean, I went through to college to a private university on Pell Grants,
Right.
on money that the government, sponsored. So now not having that and not having that ability to be able to live on that, it's very scary for these
Yeah,
students,
right.
and I could have never gotten the level of education that I got if it wasn't for that. There's no way my
Yeah.
parents could never afford that university if it wasn't for Pell Grants and scholarships.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely very strange what's taking place in the way the current administration is
Yeah.
deciding to where they need to find cuts on. They're picking the lowest hanging fruit, but which is kind of really strange because that's what adds the greatest contribution. It adds value to society. We've talked about this, I think, before in a different podcast.
Yes.
You shouldn't die in this country because of your health, because
Yeah.
you can't afford it, and you should get in decent education because an educated society is a more valuable and more productive society.
And it contributes to
Right.
society at the end of the
and
day.
the ROI that comes back into society is multiple,
Absolutely.
it's a multifold kind of deal. So
But I feel, honey, that I feel like the people that are leading the country right now are people that don't know those struggles and don't know what it takes to become something from nothing, right? So, like, my education pulled a whole family out from a neighborhood and a house that was just falling apart to live in a better neighborhood in the Spring Branch, and then pulling that whole family from my paycheck as a teacher and becoming a teacher and getting a college education and having all of that, to then having another sister go to college, from having my brothers pursue their own businesses, from having my dad have a better job, and getting, like, there's just so much that one educated person can do for a whole family. And if you don't invest in education, you're really not investing in a community.
Right. And we all live
Unfortunately,
we all live in communities.
the administration right now doesn't understand that.
Right.
They don't get it. It's very oligarchy.
Whether
right
they
now.
understand it or they don't, they just don't care.
Okay.
Right.
That's another point too.
I think a lot of people understand things, but it's how you accept it or you don't accept it.
Well, you know what? I love this conversation with you. We're going to have a conversation with a wonderful entrepreneur coming on.
Okay.
She is a star in what she does. She's an artist. She's a creator. She's an actress. And now she opened a business right close to my old neighborhood, literally.
Wow.
So I want to
fantastic.
hear, like, how she picked that place.
Yeah.
What, brought her to that neighborhood, to my old neighborhood, the near north side.
Yep.
And I'm excited to talk to her.
Okay.
Like, we're going to talk entrepreneurship, we're going to talk about business, we're going to talk about women doing their thing.
Let's get her on.
Okay. We are back at the Señora Vibes podcast, and we are so excited because we are joined by the fabulous Cat Moon.
Thank you.
I mean, what a name. Let's just go there. Let's just start with that name. She is a dynamic content creator. She's a creative director and the co-owner of the Event Place. A very, very dear place to my heart because it was literally blocks away from where I grew up in the near north side of Houston. She's a president and collaboration composer of HAM. I need you to tell me a little bit more about that. You bring over 30 plus years of experience in events and entertainment. Wow.
Yes.
Wow, Kat, that's
Many
amazing.
moons, no pun
You
intended.
have listen to this.
You
Not
got the
only is
last
she
name to go
that,
with
but
it.
she's got restaurant management, culinary arts degree.
Wow.
On top of all of the other stuff.
Okay.
She's passionate about collaborating, creating, and coordinating innovative experiences that resonate with her clients and the people around her. Welcome to the podcast, Kat.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you
excited
much.
that you're here.
I'm really, really excited. I'm really excited. This is an honor. I know when we met, we kept saying, we're like,
Yes.
we're going to do something. We're going to make it happen. And like one of the big things with CAM Collaborative Concepts is like collaborating, working together.
What
and
does CAM
exploring.
stand for, by the way?
Catherine Ann Moon.
Oh, okay.
Catherine Ann Moon. So
Okay.
it was like.
I was going to ask you what the whole name was.
Yeah,
right?
and so it
Yeah.
came about. I had the LLC for about maybe over 5 years.
Oh.
And I had it before, like, the dream, and I just went, oh, what's it going to be? I was like, Catherine Ann Moon. And then I love collaborating.
Yeah.
So it's
Collaborating
CAM.
with
I read
individuals.
HAM, and it's CAM. It's
Yeah.
KAM.
So this you just came up with Cat Moon recently.
Well, no,
oh,
so
okay.
Cat Moon was my name for stage.
Yeah.
It was like,
I
you have to
see.
come up with a stage name, and I was, especially with, like, working with a band.
Yeah, right.
And it was one of those, like, well, someone's like, Cat Moon. I was like, well, that's my name. They go, oh, I thought you made that. I was like, no. Everyone just, either they called me Kathy when I was younger, or then
Because
it
the full
went
name is Catherine.
Catherine Ann Moon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds
So-
very southern.
It is.
Very proper.
Even though I'm originally from Michigan, I'm a Motown girl. I should say I'm a Houstonian, but like my roots now are in Houston.
Okay.
Like definitely Houston, North Side area in the East End.
Wow.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
amazing to me
Yes.
because when I met Kat, I was like, wow, you're building where her event place is. It's just streets down from where I grew up.
I was just like,
Like, that was my
really? She's
childhood
like, yeah,
house.
It's
Is
like
it
right
on
there.
is it on Main Street or what?
Yes, so we're literally on James and North Main.
Okay.
So right
Yeah.
across from the Royal,
Yeah.
right where that new development is, that's
Right.
exactly where the event
Yeah,
place
I
is.
know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so my co-owners, when they got that building, they were just like, wow, here we go. But I love the fact because I came on board, I left my corporate job, and I was like, okay, I'm going to stick it all in, and let's make this happen. And when they got that, it was just really cool because they wanted to keep the original, like the trusses. They wanted to,
Right.
everything's being a little gentrified, but it's great when you still say like, hey, this is a historic little hidden gem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has history behind the
Right.
building. So I love the fact that they wanted to keep that history.
Right.
Yes.
They kept
because-
the historical, traditional design to it, right?
It is. And you've been
Right.
inside.
Yeah.
So all
Yeah.
of those things we've
It's
added
very
elements.
true to the nature of the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's really exciting about that. We even had a client at one event. It was so cute because he was an older client and he knew more history from the building than I did. I thought it was just the Martinez resale shop before,
Yes.
where everyone would hang out in.
It was a resale shop.
But it was something even before then. He worked in it. He goes, oh, I remember when this was a whole building and I worked at the clothing store right next door. And he was like remembering it.
It was a fire sale.
It was so
It was like one of those outlets where it's like discounted clothes. And you could
Yes.
find
Yes.
stuff there. Yeah.
And he remembered it. And he was
Wow.
like, oh, and he started like memorizing, like, I remember when I was younger. And he goes, I
Yeah.
was like 20 something. And the gentleman was like near probably like 70 or
Oh,
older.
wow.
So it was really cute. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
younger, like his little spirit.
I
And went,
love that.
Yeah. So
I
how
was
long
like,
how long have you had this event space?
So I believe, so my co-owners purchased it, I want to say in 2016. But then they worked on it and grew on it. Then the pandemic hit. And then
And when you say they work on and grew on it, what you talking
like
about?
working on it, building it. They had to
rehabbed
kind of
the inside-
restructure it a little bit.
on the inside, rehabbed it.
Yes.
Right.
And so when I came aboard, everything
Yeah.
was kind of like just set.
Yeah, yeah.
We're recently now working on the green room area, so it's even more of a nice expansion. Because we had the green room before, but we even made it more now that there's going to be like a little restroom connected to it, so you don't have
Okay.
to just go inside, which is
Yeah.
great for. We're working on more fashion shows
Right.
and
Okay,
music
right.
events.
That's
That's where
something
my
we talked
element comes
about,
into.
yes.
I'm excited because Houston Fashion Week is returning.
Yeah.
And that was one of my close friends when I was in the entertainment and fashion
I didn't know
industry.
Houston has a fashion week.
Oh,
it
Yes,
had
he's
one?
coming back. And so I'm excited. Victor,
Right.
he's coming back. And we
Okay.
will be in October.
Is he going to be there at
Yes.
the event?
Wow,
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic.
So
When is Fashion Week in Houston?
Houston Fashion Week is just fabulous. Picture like New York Fashion Week. You have Fashion Week that's in Paris. Houston, brought to Houston. So it's like
Right.
going to showcase and feature all of the
Yes.
like designers and models that are here locally.
Wow,
And even
okay.
though Victor, he moved to New York,
Yeah.
he originated here. That's how he and I met many moons ago.
Is it a Victor the designer, the guy that?
Yeah, and photographer. Yes.
Yeah. What
Yes.
is his full name?
I'm gonna.
oh, that's
excuse
okay.
my
That's okay. You don't have to
Spanish.
think a bit about it right
I
now,
need to do
but-
better. It starts with a Q, and he would kill me if I say it incorrectly.
Okay.
I need to learn more Spanish, guys. How am I gonna have my fiance? He tells me it's like all my friends are Latina. I'm a certified Latina.
Just like him.
Yes,
He's an
I
honorary
love like
Latino.
all of my
Yeah.
friends, the songs, the dances. Everyone's like, my boyfriend
Yeah.
goes, "Babe, you do more quinceañeras." Everyone
Yeah.
knows when songs come on. I'm just like, "Oh, mama, I'm just love it."
No, my
I love
husband,
it.
like they say, like,
So
oh my God, he
bad.
looks like such a white guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's far from being just a
Yeah.
white
Oh,
guy.
no.
He understands everything you're saying in Spanish,
Right.
but he will think he'll make you think like he doesn't know what's going
That's
on.
funny.
He knows
I know. That's
everything.
Funny, yeah.
I need to do better. And my friends laugh at me. Even my boyfriend, he laughs. He goes, "Babe." And I'm just like, all of my friends still talk Spanish and the clubs. I like, you know the words to the songs. I go,
Yeah.
I know I need to do better. So that's one of my goals.
Yeah.
One of my goals.
So your
Okay.
fiance, he's Latino, he's Hispanic?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
Soon to be. We're stuck like Chuck, so it is.
Okay.
It's just
Stuck
that.
like Chuck.
Yes, almost all my friends and everything. That and I love the anime community. So especially
Yeah.
Cat Moon, a lot of people when they meet me on the
Yes.
phone, they'll go, "Oh, I thought you were Korean." I just like
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
moon.
that's-
Yeah, but
Moon, the
because
last name,
also
right?
with anime and
Right.
K-pop before it was cool.
Yeah.
Like I love it.
Yeah.
Like
You are totally just like embracing the
Yeah.
whole thing.
everything.
She's Cat Moon.
I love it. I just like the Afro culture, the Spanish culture.
Yeah,
like it's
Yeah.
just it makes us an amazing melting pot.
it really Houston
and
for
I
sure.
loved, and that's one reason Houston. I tell people like H-Town, 100% definitely is like the diversity and the melting pot.
Yeah.
You have
Oh, for
to
sure.
be.
No, yes.
Come on, let's. I digress, but
Yeah, you can find
have
anything here
to.
from A to Z.
yes,
Right.
And then come
You
from the
can't find
culinary
it.
aspects,
Yes. All of
Oh,
it.
top
the
notch.
cuisine.
Top notch.
Down from the food trucks to
Yes,
the best
right.
holes in the walls
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you can get the best taco, like everything.
Yes.
Like it's Houston has
Yes.
it, and I love
yeah.
the fact it's growing, especially especially the north side.
Yeah.
Well, you know
Yeah,
what? I wanted to
especially.
talk to you about that because, like,
Yes.
I know that, like, Rusk and I also do, like, we purchase houses. We got one in the north side and we flipped it and we loved it. And we had a great time doing it. But I'm always, like, me, myself, always want to go back to the neighborhood and see how I can, like, help
Help
it,
and
like, to
grow.
grow. And just to bring the people along, right? So, what made you think about going into that particular neighborhood and seeing some sort of like potential to that neighborhood? Like, what was
Great
it?
question. Yeah.
What that's an excellent question because the reason how I met one of my co-owners is I always consider her like a mentor, Elizabeth Smith. She's an amazing, incredible woman. She's actually into real estate. She does
Okay.
loans. She was the one that helped me get my property in East End, on the corner of East End. Her and Dennis Powell. I love them. I love you guys. Shout out to them. But what resonated is when she's like, I said, okay, let me go see the venue. I was supposed to connect with her maybe like a while back, and I didn't. But I was ready now. So when I went to see the venue, I knew then. And I saw the area, and I usually foresee things before they happen. Like before Montrose became big.
Right.
I was there running coffee houses before it became cool, and now you see it now. It's just like there's
Yes,
trucks, there's food trucks,
explosion.
there's everything. So when I see Northside, I see that. When I see
Yeah.
that, I see the opportunity.
Yeah.
I also see the people that love
Yeah.
their neighborhood.
Yes,
Like the ones
for
that've been
sure.
there. So it's like, okay, let's make sure that we're showing the love to those
Right.
who have been in that community, but also growing
Yeah.
the opportunities, the businesses.
Absolutely. Right.
You know, and that's what
Yeah.
connected with me, resonated with me, is seeing
Yeah.
the growth there. And one
Yeah.
reason why I want to become part of the chamber.
Yeah, it's a cultural
you-
ambassador
and-
now.
Yeah, I'm really
I love
excited.
that.
It's like the lead ambassador with the Greater Northside Chamber, and it's one of those like, okay, Lord, I had to pray on it. Like, what is the next mission in life? What's the next purpose? And it's about growing community and connecting, cultivating those relationships,
Yeah.
and also doing right by the
Right.
people that are already existing there. Let them know that
Exactly.
you belong here. How can we all grow together?
Right.
Yeah,
You
the
know?
north side for sure. 10, 15 years down the road, it's
Oh,
gonna be a whole different ball game out there, and it has a true inner city feel. It has a charm to it, right?
Yeah.
Artistic to
Right.
business to class to fashion, and that's one of the things at the venues. Like we're a venue, we rented out. That was our big thing, but the entertainment element now is like, okay, let's bring the fashion shows. Let's bring the
Yes.
theater. Let's bring.
I talked about a fashion
Yeah,
show with her because I've
right.
always wanted to put a sustainable fashion show.
Yes.
Because I do swap parties every year, and so
And, I love
that's
upcycling, so that's how we
Yes,
started talking
that's
about
how
that.
we connected through the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
But also when she had that space, I was like, I'm always looking for a space where we can have like a fashion show
Yes.
for people that like to do thrifting, or because my swap parties are super popular.
Right.
People love coming to them because basically you don't have to buy anything.
Yeah.
You just swap. You bring in some clothes you're not using anymore, but it has to be good quality, not something that you would just throw away in a bin. It's stuff that still has longevity.
Right.
Exactly.
So that
And
was the
gives it another
conversation I
life.
had with
Yeah.
you, Kat, was like, I would love a space like this so that we can have something really grand and beautiful. But it's also, for me, it reaches the people that really care about our planet, really care about sustainability, really care about waste, because I hate waste, and clothing is very wasteful.
It's very wasteful.
And I worked as a retailer in fast fashion, and to me, I was like, I learned all that. So now I go to the opposite end. I'm like, where can we salvage clothing?
Have that life again.
Exactly.
Like that second
and
life
I
for
love
it.
designer pieces.
Yes.
So if I can find like a designer piece and not pay like full retail price, I'm like a treasure, like a treasure hunter.
They're just sitting there going like,
I know.
ooh, what is that?
Yeah.
And one thing
So
is
your space is great for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
How
And
many square feet is your space?
so it's 4,500, but I would say 3,000 of it inside, like
Yeah.
the main
Right.
the
Okay.
area where we
Yeah.
set up
Uh-huh.
is where that. But then we have like the little prep kitchen,
Right.
plenty of restrooms, ADA accessible, which I love. I even had one of our friends come with the wheelchair to say, I asked him like, what's your opinion on that? And it was great. So when they were redoing the building, I don't want to say redoing all the way because like I said, they really kept the elements. I
Yeah.
love that the little things that mattered, they made sure they connected with that. And that's
Okay.
one of the things I connect with them because like all of us, like I'm big on upcycling. I love upcycling. And when I lived as an artist for a while, like my major thing was like, what can I find to upcycle? So a lot of the items you'll see at the venue are items that were probably like found and upcycled or replenished or warehouse manager, Mike Vasquez, he's incredible about creating and finding things because he works with thrifting, has a thrift shop, and he's just he's amazing. Every day I tell him, I'm like, Mike, dude. He's always like, I'm just doing stuff. I'm like, well, I'm letting you know you're awesome.
Oh.
You know?
That's interesting. I've never heard that phrase before, upcycling. I mean, I know Alicia's been venturing off into this thrifting.
Yeah.
So I take it to mean it's a euphemism for recycling, but better quality, or what is it? What's the up component of the?
The upcycling is really like instead of throwing it in the trash, you're upping it. You're giving it a new life. You're upcycling it.
Right.
Also, too, what
You're
upcycling is,
rejuvenating it.
you're rejuvenating it, and you're not going to probably have it the same. You are upping the quality
So it's
of
not
it.
like recycling because that has a direct intention.
Yeah,
of
recycling and upcycling are different.
Reusing it.
Yes.
Upcycling is something that's been discarded, but you're giving it life.
Giving
again.
it life.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
like a piece of furniture, and they just give it like
Yeah.
a new
No, I
fabric,
get
or
that.
sew it
Right.
up
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit,
Yeah,
so that you don't
that's
throw
really
it
cool.
away.
Just sitting in a like landfill, going like,
yeah.
hello.
And a lot of that
You
stuff
know.
is really still in good shape and
It
great
is.
quality.
Yeah.
Just people don't understand how good something can
Right.
still be, and they just throw it out. You know. So
And that's
it's
kind of like how I look at life is, you know, I think sometimes like, okay, God, has this held me back because I see things this way? Or is it okay because I do see things this way? Is I see the good in something and I rarely give up. I will give full force and say, I see it, I believe it. Like the underdogs, the people that need that extra start.
Right.
A piece of furniture that someone didn't like. I'm like, you coming home with me, baby? You know, I'm gonna, you know, a little. Oh gosh, don't get me started on the animals. I'm like, don't look at me. They're like, they know, like me and my brother, they'll know, like,
You have a big heart.
and it's a good thing. But sometimes I'm like, ugh. But the older I get, I guess it's so funny because we're talking about the things. Like the older I get, I see the difference in life. I'm like, it's okay to be me. It's okay to be you. You know, it's okay to be this little furniture that might need a little extra love.
Yeah.
You know, and you start just appreciating that and realizing life is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who rents out your event space the most?
So definitely, I love it. We've been having recently birthday parties,
Yeah.
quinceañeras, sweet
Yeah.
16s, celebrations, weddings. We've won 2 awards for weddings. So
Wow.
I definitely won it. Last year we won the Global Lux Life Award.
Really?
Yes, for Hidden Gem.
Oh.
This year for 2025, we actually won the Global Life Lux Award for contemporary weddings for Southeast Texas. So it's like letting that word go out there because when people come in, they're like, I didn't know it was here. So it's like we're a hidden gem, but
really
it's letting
are.
people know, like, guys, we're here. We're here for your weddings. We're ready to work with more wedding planners, designers.
Yeah, multi-purpose event space.
Definitely
right?
multi-purpose,
Right, yeah.
definitely a blank canvas. And the thing is, we're not a large venue. We are for those micro events.
Right.
200 for a
Yeah,
seated dinner,
yeah.
Right.
275 for like cocktail style, and then for more like, you know, fashion shows or music events,
yeah.
300 for standing.
Okay.
And it's great.
Yeah, so I've been
Yeah.
to 2 vendor events at her space,
Okay.
and basically people just set like vendor tables and
Yeah,
they go around and they do that. I went to the Nutcracker event,
The
and-
Latina Nutcracker.
the Latina
That was so
Nutcracker.
fun.
I was there.
Yeah, I
Yes.
took Camila with me because you know,
That's-
it was something for
okay.
her. It was really
Yeah,
fun.
it was fun.
And then you're having one with the hotties,
Yes.
the Houston hotties who were on my podcast a
They
few months ago.
are amazing. Nicole
They're
Nappert,
so
I love
cool.
her.
Yeah.
So it is the Sass in Class Women's History Month celebration. We are
Yeah, something Kat knows about. Sass and class.
Sass in Class, and so it's
I
a
would
women's.
remember that phrase.
Yes, I love it. So it's going to be like one of our first ones, and we're going to have different Sass and Class events. But we're collaborating with the Houston Hotties Social Hour,
Yep,
and also the
Houston
HX
Hotties.
Honeys is going to be our nonprofit, our featured
Okay.
nonprofit.
Okay.
So the tickets are on Eventbrite. I need to
yeah.
make sure I give you your little things.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just a great time to come.
Yeah. And when is it?
This Sunday coming
Sunday.
up.
This Sunday.
Yeah,
You're
March
going?
30th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
most
hoping for
definitely.
it.
Yes, I was like, I realized I was like, I need to give her ticket so she can come.
Oh, I'm happy to
Yes.
participate and like get my
Taking
ticket
pictures,
myself. Yeah.
Socialize, network,
Yeah.
you know, blow off. You
I
know, it's
love
the
it.
end, the last Sunday of the month for
Yeah,
Women's
yeah.
National, you know,
History
History Month.
Right.
So it's like, Why not be
Why not?
sassy and
Yeah.
classy?
I know. I love it. So you really had
I can see why
quite
you're
a
an actress.
career.
It comes
There's
natural
a little
to
bit.
you.
It does.
Yeah,
When
it
you're a
just-
kid and you're
it just flows.
It
right?
I
just
think
flows.
Kat
It
should
just
go back to
flows.
acting
Yeah.
too. Like she really needs to have some real.
I want
maybe do
to.
acting classes for those of us that maybe need like a little help
Yeah.
on like our
Help.
confidence or
Yeah.
Things
how to
on
do
there.
public speaking.
See, and I'm
You're
trying
like,
to.
I'm already.
I
like,
had a
so-
friend. I was just talking about that. He goes, Kat. I was like, no, I'm right here. But I love it because doing the content
everybody
creating.
comes yeah.
We call it content creator now because
right.
that's more
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
But it's like content creator actress. But then there's improv. Then there's theater. It's so
so
many
much.
elements.
The elements, right, yeah.
So many elements. So now I was like, okay, making a little podcast circuit again. Getting back out there, but also being like, "Hey, the event place, come on!" But I'm excited. Things are happening. You know, I feel like I've preserved a little bit in my age, so that makes me a little happy. So I'm just like, yeah.
No, girl. Yes, for sure. I mean, and you come in with the energy, and I think cultural ambassador for you is just like such a perfect title for you because you really do. You really do bring the culture wherever you go, whatever you do. You talk about women's entrepreneurship.
Yes.
You always also try to find ways to collaborate and make things work. Like, you know, there's just so many things that I feel like when I've like spoken to you in the past, it's just sort of like, well, what can we do to make it work? Like, it's not about yes or no. It's never like cut, like, yeah, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. It's like, let's see where we can like figure something out.
Right.
And that's an interesting quality to have in someone, you know, because nowadays
A lot of people just want to do things on their own. They're like,
Yeah.
me. And I've never, it's just not in my, I
Yeah.
try.
Yeah.
It's just not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
God goes, not for you. And I'm like, okay. You know, my thing is like, you have peas. I call it the stew theory.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, our co-team, that's why I call it stew. You have peas, you have carrots.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a pot.
Right.
But they over there, they might have some really great either vegan broth or chicken broth, you know, depending.
And you're putting it all
And
together.
we're putting some mushrooms. Like, cool, be your own entity. That's awesome. Because Camp Collab, be your own entity, but let's blend it together. How can we make it work? How can we all, you know, progress and pay our bills and
for
grow
sure,
and
right.
expand? Like, it doesn't have to be like, it's all me. And
Yeah.
my thing is, you're not going to vibe with everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone's vibe is not going to be your tribe.
No,
No,
absolutely.
Right.
You can still
Everyone's
find a
vibe
way
is
to
not gonna
blend
be your
together
tribe, right, yeah.
and be cohesive and harmony.
Yeah, I mean, we
That's
live
my
in a
thing.
society, we live in a community, and we have to interact and socialize with other people. And
Exactly.
And ultimately, you're only content based on how strong that community bond is, right, or that relationship is.
Yes.
So I agree.
So part of the Señora Vibes CEO session
love that.
is oh, thank
name
you.
is so
Is like we're also trying to see like what has been a
Try,
challenge for you. Like what is the challenge in your business right now, and then how can we tap into our audience, our listenership, and our resources?
So one of the big things is people know that we're there, like in the
Okay.
north side.
Yeah.
Like we are here.
Letting people know
you
you're there. Okay.
You know, come out. We could definitely work with our clients. We love working with nonprofits, but at the same time, we have to pay our bills. So it's like, guys, the rates, we have really fair rates for what we
Yeah,
have. And we always
okay.
have like promotions and
Right,
things.
yeah.
So just letting people know that we're there.
Yes.
We're actually starting to ramp out 2 new like kind of programs. I guess I can say
Okay,
it now.
yeah, talk about it.
One is going to be kind of like a TP Golden like collaborator type program that we work with different like curators, fashion designers, music people that are going to start doing different events there. And it's kind of like making sure that they're tagging us, that they're their entity, but you know, we're getting some video footage,
Like
and things.
influencer marketing.
Yeah, that you get a good rate, but it's also bringing some of your people say, hey, make sure you're following the event place.
Yeah,
Make
for
sure you're
sure.
looking at that.
I think that's fantastic.
And
That's a
I
great
love
way.
that.
Influencer marketing is huge.
Exactly. And then they're having events there at like, you know, working out a rate that
Yeah.
works with them. But it's like your entity and our entity was 2 brands coming together, having a showcase. Another thing we're going to start doing is having a subscription program.
Okay.
So it's for those events that they're not big events. They're kind of like if they're coming in for an offsite meeting or nonprofits that they're having like afternoon school programs, yoga instructors, dance instructors,
Yeah.
that you can actually, we have a special rate for you that you choose 4 times that you're wanting, and you can go up to 2 hours to 3 hours,
Okay.
max 4. But it's like, It's not like a huge cleanup, tables and chairs. It's mostly you're
Right.
coming in,
Yeah.
and then you choose the 4 times, and you have to be dedicated to that. And you choose the slots, and we save those slots for you. It's either a morning slot or it's an afternoon, like more evening slot from Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
So that's
to fill in kind of those spaces that are not being used.
Exactly.
Like evening events that are usually happening.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we save that to those we consider that weekend.
Of course.
Because your bigger events, you can't split up a day and say you're going to be done cleaning up for a big
Yeah.
quinceañera.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get, for ours, you get the full day access, about 12 hours.
Right.
Usually I'm like, if you can come in the next day, we'll work something out if you don't have another event.
Right.
So Friday, Saturday, Sundays, like those are the days for like big events that, you know, it's
Of course.
set
Of course.
for
I mean,
that.
and those are the ones that are going to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but all
gotcha.
of them pay the bills. It's just kind of like, okay, I know everyone now, especially in this day and time, they're looking at their budget. So it's like, okay, how can we as a business develop and grow, but also be conscious for those that they might want an event, but they probably can't spend a certain
Yes,
amount, but
right.
they have that. So it's finding those ways of like, okay, how can we work with people? How can we make that blend in there? So
And that's so important when you're starting out or when you're trying to grow a business is to have those opportunities for people to come in and do influencer events, content creation in there because that's going to
Yes.
share it everywhere. It's going to be shared all over the place. And then having those opportunities to do speaking engagements as well, like those are awesome, so that you can also talk about your space and what you do and how you support the community. Because I think one
Yes.
part that we don't really talk about is how this event space is really supporting a community's growth in that area, bringing people along or bringing people that would not normally go to that part of the city, showing them what's there, showing them all of the potential that can be
history.
there,
Yes.
right? I think it's so important. It's so good, you know. So kudos to you for like jumping in there and seeing the potential for what it is and like really giving it that life because it really needs a lot of that life.
And thank you so much for saying that because sometimes, you know, you wonder, you're questioning yourself, especially when I left the corporate. It's so funny how life is full circle. I lived as an artist, went to culinary school, paid for my school as an artist, then went to voiceover, then theater.
Yeah.
I was theater when I was a kid, modeling, because then I did a glow up.
Yeah.
It was just all these things. And then when I went into corporate, I did enjoy what I learned being in corporate catering, and I worked my way up to account executive. So I did the major galas. HMS actually was one of my clients for working with their galas. So I've done that, but it was something missing when it came to wanting to work with nonprofits because I couldn't help you with a certain budget. Like if you didn't have a certain budget, I can't even really talk to you.
Right.
But now it's like, okay, God, what can I do to give back, pay my bills, grow, and help others at the same time? And what I love about our venue is that the passion there, and when seeing it going like, okay, I know we're a venue, but what events can we also create too that help with the subsistence income, but also helps the community to show that we're there? Because I want the event place and ER co-owners to be like, we're a hub. Like, let that be the beacon. Let that little place be the beacon and hub. We're working with the Northside Community Response Team. Of course, the Greater Northside Chamber. We're starting to work with the artists that are local in the area.
Right.
And just getting that feedback for that too of, you know, what are you seeing? How are you seeing the growth? What are your opinions? Do you have any suggestions? And just, like I said, not just being a venue, but also being a place that people go like, oh man, I'm going to go to an event at the event place.
Yeah.
They're going to have a theater event. They're going to have a wine dinner.
Right.
You know, let me make sure that I'm on their
You
newsletter
know what?
seeing
That's
the
a
growth.
great venue
wine
for a
dinner.
wine dinner.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. Little gems, little things that are coming up.
And that's how
little
you and
gems.
Russ connected
Yeah.
because Russ served you some wine one
yeah,
day,
yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, I know."
It was
you
red and it was
now.
delicious.
Thank you.
I will enjoy myself as a wonderful thing of wine. I guess that's my culinary background there.
Yeah, and then Russ will say, "Well, I picked it. Of course, it was
Yeah.
good."
I was
That's
just like-
what he says all the
Well, it was
time.
delicious, you know.
Rubbed
So
off on you now.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah, I
it.
remember that day because you were the only one I think that had asked me for red. Everybody was drinking white.
And you're just like,
And
oh.
it's like I had to like go move down the list real quick to pull the red out.
Yeah. So we had a paint and sip for the
remember now.
chamber as well, which was really fun, and we had
And
a
we're
really
actually
good
working
time.
in September. We're going to do it at
Oh,
the venue. Yeah, so we're getting that
It would be
planned out. Working with
perfect for
Pamela.
that.
Yes.
It's such a good spot for it. It's nice. It's big. There's plenty of parking, which is
That's
always
a
my
perk
pet peeve.
there.
That is
Yes.
always my pet peeve. Whenever I go to events or whenever I go to anything, I will honestly not go to an event if there's no parking, because it just bugs me. And if they do valet, well, that would be great. That's fine. But then at the same time, why are we having to pay for the valet? Why can't you just assume to have a parking lot?
Right.
Like, it's just annoying to me.
Well, a lot of places downtown do not have a parking lot. So that's one of the perks there. And people say, well, how much do y'all charge when we rent it for the lot? I was like, no, that's why
included,
it comes with that.
Exactly.
And then we have you're in the neighborhood, so we also have street parking.
You have street parking.
So it works
There's
out
street
perfectly.
parking, but they have a parking lot, which is huge.
Yeah, which
Most
is
of
rare,
the-
like
it's
Kat
so
has said, on
rare.
that side of town, right?
It is so rare. It's so rare. So that's something that really, like.
But I don't even think it's a lack of parking. I think that a lot of the times these events are organized without the thought of where people are going to park, and people are just going to think that they're okay with winging it. And we're just going to.
No.
But I think it takes away from the experience. Is that if you're already stressing where to find parking, you're already stressed out walking in there, and then you're already 25% checked out or
You're just
whatever.
like-
We've already
Right.
checked out.
Yes.
Mentally checked out. Like, we won't go to the Heights restaurants because there's no parking. And as much as we like a restaurant, Rusk is like, I'm not going to wait outside, number one. I'm not going to be driving around for 5-10 minutes waiting for somebody to move. Like, that's just crazy.
And most of
That's
those neighborhoods, those Heights locations,
Well, now they have things saying you can't
you
park,
park there because
exactly.
businesses opened up after they've lived there for 30, 40 years,
Yes.
and they're parking in front of their house, and then it gets out of control, especially like on the weekends. So it makes
I
sense.
love what you're doing, Kat. And I think
you.
just creating these collaborations, doing these marketing events, these influencer events. I definitely want to come in and do a fashion event with you one day. I
Oh,
definitely
we
want
have
to
to
do
plan.
a real sustainable fashion event.
Yes.
I did one, and I was a model for one for Poshmark. I don't know if you know about
I
Poshmark.
know about Poshmark.
So I learned a lot about their process and how they put it together, and they did a whole mood board. I mean, I'm just like super like sold into it, but that's something I definitely want to do one day, because I'm always about curating fashion looks that
it.
are elevated, but at the same time, you don't have to like spend like a
fortune.
pretty penny.
I love just like blending things
Exactly.
together.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Doing high and low, like for me, it's about the high and low too. Like having like your designer shoes, your handbags, but at the same time, not like, breaking the bank for it.
right.
And also, too, I was going to say, supporting local artists that create fashion, upcycling fashion. And
Let's
that's
do
one of
it.
the things that
I
I
love
actually
it.
used to do is put fashions together and upcycle it. But I'm trying, like I'm saying, I'm trying to do this, working on my brand, but I'm trying to stay focused. But I love that, and working with those artists again that are wanting to like create their things from upcycling fashions.
Yeah, for sure.
I just like I can scroll for hours on that, which I have to tell myself, no, Kat, you have work to do, because
Oh
it's
my
either I'm taking a
gosh.
break or I'm on a laptop making things happen.
I
It's like,
know.
here's the venue, But one of the things I love is that, because the creative mindset that comes from that, it's fabulous.
Yeah, it's
Well,
fantastic.
I think one thing about entrepreneurship or women in business or women who are multifaceted, I think the hardest thing for us is to really staying in one lane and being really focused and not being distracted by because we do a lot of things, right? Like we have, for example, Rusk and I work together in real estate, and then I also have my podcast, and then I also do the fashion side, because I also try to create content on that side, and then I do my swapping parties. I work with the alumni organizations. I work with the chambers. Like there's so many things. At the end of the day, I have to really focus myself and be like, okay, this is what I need to like really think about at this point in time. And I walked in today because I've been sick. We've been canceling. Everybody's been sick. This month has been crazy. But one thing that I told Rusk, I said, today I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna come in there and just be like myself.
I
As
was like
prepared
that
as
too.
I always feel
Yes.
like I want to be, because I'm such a type A personality. I just decided I just can't. I just can't. Like my voice isn't there yet. I'm not feeling well, but I'm
You
just
sound
like,
great. You sound amazing, by
thank
the way.
you. Thank you.
pulls
But
it
I'm just,
together.
it's
I'm
been
telling
a
you.
struggle. And I think part of being authentic to us is like also understanding that we can take breaks. And be
my
okay with
gosh.
that, right?
I feel like the message of God goes, you wanted me to talk to you today here. And I'm going like, oh my gosh, I'm hearing you and I'm seeing it. And it's, even though on the drive here, I was like, starting to feel like the stress. Like, okay, I need to email this. I need to do this. I need to connect.
Right.
I need to get us bookings. I need people to know that we're here.
Right,
Lord, I'm
right.
putting all this work in. What am I doing? And I thought to myself, Kat,
Yeah.
you're going to be so like almost stressed out by the time you get there. You're joyfully enjoying this.
Right.
Just do your thing.
Yeah.
Rock yourself up. Go out in there.
Yeah.
Be yourself. And let it all just keep striving. Keep striving. That's one of my things I keep saying. Keep striving. And as women, especially as women of like color, Hawk women, we all know like it's a certain level to pretty that all women. Prove that. Forget race there. All women. We have a certain thing of like we know that we cannot fail. It's like you already feel like the eyes are on you.
Yeah, the standards are higher. Right?
Yes.
The expectations are
higher.
higher. Right,
and even for the men, even for the guys, I'll get to you guys too. It's like a level of like not failing. You want to make sure you're providing and you're doing things.
Right, yeah.
Especially as business owners.
Yeah.
When you're like taking that leap.
Every day you want to feel like you had a productive day. Even if it's a small step in the right direction, at least you're kind of doing something that you weren't doing the day before.
Yeah.
Right?
And knowing that you cannot do everything. Like even sometimes I'm going like, oh my God, I didn't get this done. I need to do this. I need to create this content, hashtag, blah, blah, blah. I go, Kat, you're one person trying to make it all happen right now. And just know that if you just keep putting it out there, it will
get done.
You shall achieve
Yep.
and receive.
Yeah.
I claims it right now. So like I just,
Yeah.
I feel like that was like a
No, but
One Piece jump thing there. You One Piece
I'm
fans,
with
you know what
on
that
that because I also believe in like manifesting and like really putting it out there and telling people what you're looking for and what you need. Right? Because I feel like if you don't say anything, nobody will know.
No one's gonna know.
Right? Nobody's going to know that you have the space in the North Side or that I have the podcast. Like nobody's going to know that it's out there, that I need you to support it, that in order for me to grow and continue doing these things, I need your support. I need you to be there for me too, right? I think as women that are like always doing so much for others, we always, especially for me, I won't ask for help. I won't say, "Hey, I need you to help me." I'm like, "I got it.
I got it. And you're inside.
You know?
Your inside's going
And
like,
then
you
you're burned
don't
out.
got
And
it.
then you're burned out. And then you're like hating the world. Like nobody helps me. But then Rusk is like, "But did you ask us to help? Like, did you tell us that you needed this? I'm like, no, because I just wanted to do it on my own. But then I'm, upset about it. So I think a part of that is like for me right now at this age where I'm like reaching 50, it's like really giving myself a time to like take a break.
Yeah.
If I need to and like heal because I've been sick but my subconscious and my productivity will always be like, you didn't do enough. You didn't do enough. You didn't do enough. You go to sleep.
Look
thinking
at
you
them,
didn't do enough.
or like I've had like pinpoints when we're this thing to talk about like comparing yourself. Like, okay, I'm putting in all this work and this person's doing it, and sometimes I look at them and it's also know they're not doing it the right way, and you're trying to do it the right way without doing shortcuts.
Yes.
But you still go, oh my gosh. Oh, maybe I need to do that. Or sometimes for me, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I need to dress more like that person in the industry because that's how you do it. But I'm past the showing this and that. I'm done. I'm good. Can I? Oh, yes, I can. But it's just like my style is very like, this is what you get. And that's okay. And we talk about like the age thing. I tried to older myself up today. I love it that I sometimes still get carded. I'm like, cool. But the reality is, like, I like telling people my age.
Funny.
Like, I'll be 46 in July.
Yeah.
What day?
Wow.
July 18th.
Oh, okay. Because I'm a July birthday.
I just like you're a July girl too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I tell people when they talk to me, especially if I have like my glasses or my pigtails, so it's like, oh, you just wait till I'm like, no, trust me. Listen, like, I'm 45.
Right.
45 and alive because I've gone
that's the
through
thing
some
about-
things,
Let's really be honest.
But,
brown and black girls. Seriously, we don't look our age.
You guys age
Our
well.
skin is our gift from our ancestors.
That's
But
And
I
I'm
have to think
so
my German
proud.
grandmother though, so I'm actually part German, African American, American Indian.
Ah, okay.
Well,
And,
it's the American
I think
Indian.
It's
the
American Indian. I think that puts
so.
that like.
Because I think at least it's 50% American.
Are
Indian.
oh yeah, you could
Right.
yeah, you could tell me your
Mm-hmm.
cheekbones.
I think it's definitely
Yes.
that indigenous genetic
it helps.
predisposition, right?
I was
It
like, thanks,
does.
mom.
I am just like so thankful for my grandma because my grandma at
I'm
80,
just patting myself on my
she
back.
had like
I
a
got
bun.
lucky. She doesn't-
You're like, I did good.
I knew that
you
when I was
did good."
21. Right?
What, baby? What did you say?
I just say I'm patting myself on the back because I chose well. Because I knew
See?
at 21 you weren't going to age.
You're just like that one right there. That's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, you really did do that, didn't you?
Yeah. I picked up on a couple phrases from you that I remember, sassy and classy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's You achieve to you receive to achieve to receive.
You
right?
achieve to receive.
You said one more, it just kind of slipped my
There's
mind.
there's catanisms, even that word. So you just stay tuned for the catanisms.
Right.
They're going to come out.
Yeah.
My friends are like, okay, what catanism is there today? Stew theory, strive and try.
You
Here we
posted
go.
on Instagram.
Stew theory.
Stew theory, that's what it was.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
stew
So-
theory. Putting your the peas, the carrots.
Yeah, you just put it in
And she's
there.
got
and
the
then-
ball.
It's just like I'm right, like the little Tiny Chef. I love him. One day, Tiny Chef, I want to be on your show so bad. He's so cute. He's like,
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
oh, I'll show you. He's so positive, so cute little green thing, and it just something about me goes like, yeah, I just want to be me.
Yeah.
Things that help me out, like growing up, like especially watching the anime community, anime,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I loved it because it's like you could just be you
Yeah.
and just creative and like just go into those worlds or Disney.
Yeah.
Just
Who's
kind
your
of.
inspo cat?
Ooh.
Who is an inspo for you? Like when you look at your life and you look at that person's life, I'm not talking about comparisons. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
competition, but somebody that inspires
You. Man, that's a deep one. I would
Well, who
say
comes to your mind most often?
my mom a lot,
Okay.
big time.
Yeah.
She
Still around?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank God.
In
She
Houston,
is
or
a
is
survivor.
she's in Detroit, or?
She's here. She's here
yeah,
in
right.
Houston. But my mom, my family.
Did they follow you down here, your parents? Or did they come
No,
down here
I'm here because
of
my
them?
dad had transferred back in the
I
day.
see.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
yes. So
Oil and gas, or-
that's why I'm here. We're here
Yeah.
from that. Then we just kind of every time I was going to end up moving, something happened.
Yeah.
That is like, okay,
How
I
old were
guess
you
I'm
when you
supposed to be
came
in
down
Houston.
here?
I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was younger, so I
10
should
or-
say I was Houstonian, but still people ask
Yeah.
like, okay, where are you from?
Yeah.
'Cause they'll still ask. Like I had a lot of friends from UK.
Yeah.
And when I would meet them, they were like, so how long have you been in the States? I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I guess because like I speak well, I've always
Oh
I've
my
always
gosh.
spoke like this. So
Yeah, they think we butcher the language.
yeah, so it's just kind of
Even
like
though they can understand us, but we can't understand them, right?
I actually do understand them. So
Yeah.
especially as like how you become a chameleon.
Yeah.
Because especially an actress and
Yes.
voiceover.
Oh,
I think
right.
what happens
You
is
pick
if I
up on all
with
that.
someone for a while,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it will just naturally
Yeah, right.
start coming. Like if I'm around my Brit friends for a while, we'll start. So don't forget Bridgerton's on.
Yeah.
That's it. What are you doing today? I do declare. I believe that is more of a next
Yeah. Can you do accents?
I can.
Yeah, she's
yes.
saying she does voiceover.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
right,
but
right.
it's definitely one of those like I would have to start
Can you do like
working
a
on.
Southern Belle? Like that's
Darling,
my
let me
favorite.
tell you something. Can I do a Southern Belle?
Oh my gosh!
That's more pish posh applesauce and a honey and a peach
Oh,
pie.
wow, that was really good. Wow.
Can
I
you
love
do-
doing
can you
kids.
do a California Valley girl?
Oh my God, like my first thing I really love to do is just sitting and looking at myself and wondering, like, can I purchase that? Yes, I totally freaking can.
Oh my
Wow.
god, cat
Wow,
is
you
so
switch so
good.
fast.
And I love doing kids' voices,
Yeah.
like
You do
that.
kids.
I love doing that for like books and things. There's like, hey guys, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
Jimmy, you know you shouldn't be doing that. That's not really cool because yesterday you fell. Or Princess, my major goal one day, and I'm still holding on to this, even if I have to create it myself, is to be a princess for Disney. And once upon a time, when I woke up inside, I saw it all. And I knew that I too could be someone special. And then break out into song.
Wow.
Like Disney songs, that was always my thing when I would sing.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
How you switch that
the
fast.
voice that would come out, people would be like,
What about New York or Bostonian?
I'd have to work on that one.
Yeah.
That's one that I'd have to kind of like work on
Brooklyn
again.
or like Long Island.
Yeah,
Long
it's
Island.
different. And
So
if I do
different.
it, my friends will call me out and be like, I know you didn't. And I'd be like, oh gosh. But the
Well, you just did it right there.
No, that's more of the chicas like
Yeah,
here. Yeah, like,
right,
it's
yeah,
different.
yeah.
Like I remember going to my friends with Spanish club, and I didn't
amazing.
know Spanish all the way. They would talk to me when I had my hair straight. They think I'm Dominican, so they're just talking and talking. I'd be like, no, she didn't. What, girl? Let me tell you
Yeah.
something. And they'd be like, oh, I had a great conversation. My friend's like, with who?
Yeah.
They go, with Kat. They go, Kat, what'd you say? I was like, I just said no, she didn't, and
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah,
That is
Because you just do that like, no
yeah.
say. That's
Yeah.
it. Just do that at a club and you don't know. They'll just talk because the music's loud and
Yeah.
you just be like, you're just, Chiquita. I haven't gone to a good Latin club in a while. I have to tell my boyfriend, I'm going to go dancing.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go dancing.
What is your boyfriend's nationality?
He's Hispanic.
Yeah, right.
Mexican. His
Mexican,
family,
right.
he came from Mexico, but he's from here, from America.
Okay.
So he's so great. I love it because he could
When are you
okay
getting
with my
married,
personality.
Kat?
Oh, let's not. We've talked about it. Yeah, we're stuck like Chuck. We're good.
Yeah.
It's one of those like,
It's
yeah,
not even
you're my
about getting
human.
married anymore.
No, we. Oh,
Yeah.
no, he's amazing, super smart dude. I'm like,
What does he do?
This. He's going to school to be more in the oil field.
Okay.
Again, he already
Yeah.
had a degree
What
in
was he doing before?
statistics.
Yeah, okay,
So
statistics, yeah.
he likes to learn, but I think he's
Right.
done.
Yeah.
I think he's done with that.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I've learned, I've gone, I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So he's a great guy. I love the fact he's supportive. My family's supportive. It's like my nephew. I
Yeah.
love it because I love having brainiacs around me.
Yeah.
Like my nephew is incredible. I would punish him when he was a kid by taking
Yeah.
his Rubik's cubes away from him.
Yikes.
You know, one thing we should do, we should do like an interracial relationship podcast.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't that
that'd
be
be fantastic,
cool?
yeah.
Just to kind of
Yeah.
talk about
It's a
like
lot
how
of
we
diversity.
connect with like other cultures,
Right.
especially in relationships,
Yeah, yeah.
partnerships.
That'd be interesting. Be fascinating to find out. Yeah.
Where can people find you, Kat, before we go?
Oh my goodness. They can find me on Instagram at Miss Cat Moon. I'm pretty on all platforms.
Yeah.
Miss Cat Moon.
Yeah.
MISSKATMOON.
Yeah.
And she's not Korean.
And you're not Korean.
And I'm not Korean.
Yeah.
Or if people meet
Yeah.
me, they think they're like, "Oh, I thought you were blonde when we talked on the phone." I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm just me." And then also you can find the
brought the
Event
kid.
Place
Yeah, yeah.
on Facebook at the Event Place and on Instagram at the Event Place Houston.
Yeah.
Okay.
So stay connected there,
Okay.
and I just
Yeah.
want to connect more with you.
Yeah, yeah.
This has been awesome. I think
I
it's a
love
great
it.
conversation. We can just probably keep
Yeah.
talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
we could talk
Because
forever with you.
We'd be like, okay, we have 5 podcasts in one podcast.
Yes, yeah.
So
We can, you can, the whole season in just one episode.
one season. We could talk about that. We could talk about cakes because
Yeah.
my family. We can talk about a lot of things. There's just a lot of things we can talk about. Fashion,
Yeah,
pops.
Yeah.
Fashion, pops. I
All
would
of it,
just
yeah.
ask you to do all the different
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
accents because I just love it when
Accents.
people do accents.
And Houston, making
Houston, yeah.
Northside amazing.
Yeah, it's
and
fantastic.
growing.
Listen, Houston
do
is
it.
so underrated in terms of cities in the world, just from the food aspect, the diversity, the multicultural,
Yes.
just the people here. It's just such a great city. Like, we're so spoiled. And Rusk and I travel a lot, and we're always like, wow, we're spoiled because
Yeah.
service in Houston is top notch. Restaurants,
Oh,
the food scene.
Right.
it's growing, expanding.
Pretty much eat from any part of the world.
No, for sure, right.
Amazing. Like just
We
so
love
many
it.
digital growth, everything. Like I have a friend, he has Agency Kairos, amazing. Jack Potts. He went from like photography to doing more marketing. Just expanding. I love the expansion people are doing.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Chef T. He's amazing. Chef Travis.
Yeah, yeah.
He does meal prep, but he also does fitness.
Yeah.
There's so many artists, like the
Yeah, yeah.
food, the
Yeah,
fashion. I'm giving shout outs to everybody. You already know how I am. I
love
love
it.
supporting people because there's so many entrepreneurs and also people that were in corporate or they left entrepreneurship that are coming back because they're wanting to grow and change.
Yeah.
And there's so many connections we need to do. I know we're going to be doing more networking events at the venue.
Okay.
Well, probably get tickets and things
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
But having people do more connecting.
I would love for you to come and promote all that stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
doing more connecting with
definitely
that
wanna do
because
that.
a lot of people just want a platform. They want to be heard. They want to be able to be
Yeah.
heard. And so a lot of independent platforms,
Right.
we're going to be the key for doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
For making things happen. So I
love
know
that.
even at the venue, we're going to start kind of doing like a little entertainment type podcast type thing. And I definitely want to have you on to start talking.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Because it's kind of like, if you're not promoting yourself, who will?
Yeah.
And I'm learning that because there were
Mm-hmm.
people that I knew in the entertainment industry that
Yes.
have won their Grammys, Academy, and they say, "Kat, when you get started back up, we got you."
Yeah.
No shade to them, but it's like now I'm like, hey, I need
Yeah.
that help and assistance. They're not there, and I went, it's okay because I've always gone. You've given me a lemon zest,
Yeah.
just a lemon zest. I'm gonna make something out of that lemon zest. I'll be like that guy that put the banana and taped it on the wall and
What
sold
guy?
it. Like I'm just like, this here is my lemon zest. I make myself because it's cute and saucy and zesty. Purchase $5 million. Thank you very much. 10% going to the Lord,
Yeah.
15% to nonprofit. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I can't live off the rest of the millions. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
so
right.
Oh my
you know,
God,
but
Kat, you have been nothing
Yeah.
but a delight
Yeah.
today.
really,
I'm
I've
so
enjoyed. I
grateful
need
for
this
you.
conversation.
And
This
I'm
has been
actually
wonderful.
quite glad that we only had Kat today.
Yes,
Yeah, because it was supposed to be a few
It
of
was
us.
be a few of us, yeah, but I'm
It
just
worked
glad that it's
out.
just
It was
you.
fantastic. It was really cool.
Yeah, and I got
Yeah.
this cute little couple here who's an inspiration. It's like hashtag relationship goals. Let's talk about YouTube. Look, I'm
thank
gonna
you.
be on the switch the script, and I'm gonna
Yes,
want to ask you
yeah.
questions about you two fabulous people.
Thank you.
I always tell
Yes.
Rusk, I said, my goal is for us to be a power couple one day. And he's like, that's the last thing I ever want to be, is I don't want to be that. Like, I'm like,
I want to do that too. Like, I want to get my boyfriend on the camera, and he's kind of like, but he's doing better. Like, honey, you're right. We need to take more pictures and things.
Right.
Yeah,
But
Rusk
I
is-
want to be like,
Rusk
be on
is
the
behind
camera
the
with me. And
scenes.
he's
Yeah.
like, that's all.
He's
that's
behind
all
the
it is.
scenes all
Yes.
the time. Like
Yeah.
he does a
the
lot for
dirty
me
work,
behind the
right.
scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if I need a photo with him, he's like, oh,
Oh,
really?
God. Yes.
But it's
like
not
pulling
one photo.
teeth.
It's like 100 photos, and it's
I'm
not
like,
done right.
just
It's
a picture,
take a
babe.
picture.
Come on, let's
But
take
you know
some
what, Kat?
pictures.
He's gotten really good at doing all my travel photos.
Oh.
He's gotten so good at that now. Like he started off like I was
right.
I
gonna
learned
do.
from my son.
You learned from your son,
He's
okay,
a videographer.
okay.
Yeah, he's learned from him.
Oh,
Yeah,
and then he
right.
helps out. See,
I
look.
see the angles, how he takes them, how he changes the phone, all that kind of
You're
stuff.
just like, okay, hold on.
There we
Wait.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let me get you right here. Okay,
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
see right here is your beautiful light shining right. Okay, right there. Oh yeah, right. Oh yes, bonita, mamma mia. Oh, bonita. Yeah, right. Yeah.
You're right,
You
Kat.
can tell I grew up in A-Leaf. They be like, hey, say, you, oh, mamacita. I'm like, oh, Lord.
You went to A-Leaf?
I was, SWAT life.
Which
Yeah.
high school?
Hastings.
Oh, yeah,
we had windows.
No kidding. I
Yeah.
went to Elsick.
Yeah, we had windows. I think we
Yeah.
had the conversation. Hastings had windows.
Oh, that's right. Oh, we did have this con. Yes, you guys did.
It's
have
okay,
windows,
Rams.
Which is kind of strange because Elsick was built after Hastings.
Yeah,
Right.
which is weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 10 or 15 years
Yeah, but
later.
we all met in the annex
Yes, we
building.
were in the
Yeah.
annex building, right, yeah.
That A-Leaf life. SWAT life. Yeah, I'm not
So you
gangster like
graduated
that.
with 99 or
97.
97? Okay, right.
97.
Oh yeah, you're 46, right? I keep
Oh,
thinking
I'll
of
be
50.
46, like not yet. But I'm getting there. I will be there.
That's funny because I
Yes.
was there. I left in 95, so
Oh, so we probably passed
Yeah.
an annex.
Yes, right.
Like this, like
because you were in what 93, 97.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then I went to Curve the first year they're opened,
Oh, yeah,
and then
right.
they weren't ready yet.
Yeah,
My
they
mom's like,
weren't ready yet,
no.
yeah.
We
I
were the
remember-
tryout, but now Curve's great.
Yeah,
but
it's one of the best schools in the city.
yeah, but
right.
when I first started, Mom was like,
Yeah,
no,
they all came
we're,
back.
We're good.
All the 4.0s went to Kerr, and they all
Yeah.
came running back after like a semester. I remember it was what happened. And there was spring semester, and they weren't ready.
They weren't ready.
Right,
They're
yeah.
like, no. So I was glad I made it through that the first
Yeah.
year of the Curve, and then I was like, they're not organized yet,
No.
but they have it now.
Yeah,
They have it now.
Hopefully, it's been 30
Look
years.
at you guys. You have more in
I
common
know.
than we do.
Right.
Look how it comes together. It's like life.
It's like life.
Kat,
I love it.
I've loved having you.
Oh,
Thank
I
you
love
so
being
much.
here. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we're going to
It was
continue
great.
this conversation. We're going to do some more.
Oh, you already know.
And then we're going to be doing some fashion shows. I mean, there's just so much that we still need to do.
There's so many things.
And the world is our oyster.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
it is.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much
And
for
we
being
love
here
you
today.
too. I love you.
We're a
Thank you,
trio
Kat.
now.
Yes,
We're
thank
a
you,
throuple
Kat.
We are.
now.
Oh, cat in the middle.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
you
You
so
guys
much.
follow her. Make sure y'all
Yes.
go to her website.
Yeah.
Make sure you go to her Instagram account.
I have to
All
check out your event space.
the things.
Yeah. Come by.
Miss Kat Moon.
Yeah.
I thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bless.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you.